Vamos a darle un fuerte aplauso, por favor, a James, a Ana y a BryanLaConciencia.
So I'm the founder of Pipfarm, and we're working really hard to not just sell challenges or pay traders, but actually to do good in the industry by collaborating and supporting with our competitors who are also our friends.
Trading will show the best version of you or the worst version of you, and it's kind of sad when it shows you the worst and you don't work to fix that.
That's why it's very important for people to get educated, because there is no way you can become aware if you don't consume information that are helpful to you, for you to understand how your brain operates and how human psychology in general operates, so that you can build a strategy to deal with trading psychology.
Why people became aware is because we were all locked down. There was no escape. You didn't have nowhere to go. You have yourself, maybe with your family, your partner, but you have nowhere to go, just stay in your home. And apparently when you have too much time with yourself, you start like getting inside of your mind, you start maybe observing what is happening.
Yeah.
And from my experience, I start questioning everything.
Sharing knowledge, because, and I think I said this last night, and I'm sure you agree with me, is I can't have a strong company if I have a weak industry to operate in.
Dímelo, mi gente, ¿qué está pasando? Estamos aquí en un nuevo episodio de PIP Traders Talk. Y te tengo que decir, si hablas español, te lo digo desde un inicio, todo este episodio va a ser en inglés, ya que nuestros invitados solo hablan inglés. De vez en cuando tal vez nos tiren un par de palabras en español, vamos a ver si sueltan algo. So, if you are an English speaker, don't worry. We will quickly switch to English. We are just doing the introduction in Spanish for our Spanish speakers. So give us just one more minute. So, familia, como les estaba mencionando, este episodio va a ser completamente en español, perdóname, en inglés. Estamos con dos personas muy importantes. Nos sentimos súper emocionados porque estamos haciendo esta colaboración con Pipfarm, una empresa de fondeo que ha estado haciendo las cosas de una manera excelente, de igual manera que nosotros. Así que vamos a darle un fuerte aplauso, por favor, a James, a Ana y a BryanLaConciencia. So I was just saying to our Spanish speakers that we are very happy to have the Pipfarm team here, and we are very excited for this collaboration between both companies. And we were resulting that Pipfarm has been doing a great job for the prop space. Since last year was when the company launched, right?
Yeah, we launched 1 year ago.
Perfect. Congratulations for that first year. How do you feel about it?
I'm impressed. I'm impressed with all of the work that we've done in 1 year, because in a normal business, 1 year isn't a lot of time, but in this business, 1 year is an eternity. So it was way more challenging than I expected, but every entrepreneur always underestimates the amount of work and time for everything to happen. So my expectations were, I expected it to be not as hard and not as complicated, but in terms of results and how far and how large the company grew in just 1 year, it exceeded my expectations. So yeah, my expectations were wrong, but I'm really happy with where we are today.
Nice. So, James, for the people that don't know you and are seeing you for the first time, what you can tell them about you so they can know who is James?
Yeah. So I've been working in the online trading industry for my entire career. So since the age of 20, I was working in a liquidity provider as a salesperson. So I was selling the liquidity, which is the execution, for other retail brokers. And I did that for a couple of years. And then I moved to another company, a technology provider called C-Trader. So I was working there for 7 years. Again, I started as a salesperson. So I was meeting with brokers, trying to sell them C-Trader. This was at a time when MetaTrader was even more popular than it is today. The idea of there being another platform was just impossible. So it was a really tough job, but I did a great job at it. And then from there, I just kind of grew within the company until I became the chief commercial officer, which is the second most important person in the company. Then I decided to have a change of life, and I relocated from Cyprus to the Czech Republic. I started working on a new project, not in trading, but actually in electronic money. So this was working with a broker who was investing in new projects, and one of those projects was an electronic money company. I did that for 3 years, and then I learned about prop trading. And I remember that first conversation where someone tried to explain it to me. And actually, it was really confusing for me because I'm just at the time, I was so used to what online trading was. I mean, CFD trading, right? So you have a trading account, you have your own money, and the trader is risking their own capital only. And then I understood what traditional prop trading was. I understood what traditional CFD trading was. But then this new thing was actually quite complicated to understand how this was commercialized into a product that is sold as challenges, and maybe other people watching this can remember when they were first described this idea of prop trading, and maybe even you guys had the same experience. So then I started working for a broker that had a prop firm. I did this for a year and a half, and then I decided that I was ready for the next challenge in my career, which was to start my own company. So the reason why I started Pipfarm was actually a personal escalation. So taking the decade of experience that I already have and just fulfilling my dream or mission or whatever of just taking my career to the next level by having my own company. So that's a very concise way of describing where I came from. And yeah, so I'm the founder of Pipfarm, and we're working really hard to not just sell challenges or pay traders, but actually to do good in the industry by collaborating and supporting with our competitors who are also our friends, and sharing knowledge. Because, and I think I said this last night, and I'm sure you agree with me, is I can't have a strong company if I have a weak industry to operate in. And it's the same for you as well, right? We need a strong industry so we can be strong within the strong industry.
Yeah, completely agree with that. It's something that I have been saying always to our community, because there are still some mentors, educators, and also happens on the prop space that they see competition as bad, but no, competition is very good for the industry and for the business, because your growth is my growth. Because if you grow, the industry has more credibility. So there is more companies with the credibility, more people will start to trust in the prop space. So we are going to gain growth also. And that same situation happens for the mentors and educators. If all educators are growing, it means the industry is gaining more. Oh my God, I forgot the word.
Credibility.
Yeah, so you're attracting more and more and more customers. So your growth is my growth too.
Yeah, and as I mentioned yesterday when we were discussing about competition in the industry, this industry is not a scarce industry. It's an abundance industry. So, for example, if a trader reaches the maximum allocation with one company, they will want more capital and they will go for the other company. So, if you're doing a great job and if you're taking care of the traders, if you're providing good services, there is no limit on how many companies we can trade with. So, if you're doing a good job, traders will come to you.
100%. And probably that trader will start to manage more allocation, will lower the risk. So at the end of the day, the payment will be even lower, which is it is what it is. It's something that companies have been working on having those payments. Like we saw many years ago some crazy payments with what you said, when people knew there was some gray areas of the system and they were exploiting the system.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as you said, like you lowered the risk, and this is allowing also better risk management for all the companies in general. So, and we've been talking with many industry experts, also from the broker space, not only from the prop firm space. And the broker space has been going through the challenges that the prop firm space is going through or went through. Now we're kind of like getting to a new era, I would say, of gaining trust again. But last year was a very challenging year, and the brokerage space have been going through the same phases as well when it was a young industry. So this is a young industry, and it's normal for it to go through ups and downs and to have some form of challenges in defining what is the sweet spot that will allow both traders and companies to be happy. Yeah. So with the high competition is great if it's done the good way. Yes. The reason why the industry faced so many challenges last year was because way too many prop firms popped up out of nowhere, so to say, with technology providers making it really easy for them to start. And when you have too high supply, but the demand is the same, the price goes down and the price makes the business unsustainable. And this was the main reason why the industry went into challenging phase. Went through a challenging phase. Another reason was, of course, traders that found the gaps and started like misusing the products and the services. This was another reason, and that's why everything that happened. But I believe that the ones that were thinking long term and the ones that came into this industry not to make just quick money but to be here for a long term survived, and the rest are no longer here.
Yes, sir.
The analogy of the Forex trading history is really accurate. I remember when I first moved to Cyprus, everyone in the pub owned a Forex broker. Unregulated, without any, just supported by cheap technology providers. So I had actually many friends who I met through being a salesperson in C-Trader, and they had basically $50,000 and decided to open a Forex broker. And this was how many people, this was at a time when it was possible. So in 2010, there were many jurisdictions where you still didn't need a license to run a Forex broker. So it's kind of echoing, like Anna said.
Yeah.
And going back to what you said about all the prop firms that went down during the past years, this was basically a black swan event.
Yeah.
It was a good thing to happen for the space in the long run. So all the companies that are still in business doing things right, it's like you said, is those companies that had that long-term vision. And again, it was something that needed to happen to clear the space.
Best players in the industry. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the companies that survived now have this kind of pedigree, right? Because even some of the biggest and presumably most liquid companies could not survive because as you mentioned, it wasn't just one issue, and it wasn't just the two issues that you mentioned.
No, there are a lot, multiple.
Well.
Yeah.
So it was just so many issues converged at the same time and just caused this super duper black swan event, I guess, because there is, I don't actually judge any of these companies for not managing because, when you have a business continuity plan, you are planning for one thing to happen at a time, right? You're not planning for everything to happen all at the same time. So the reason why I don't judge for that is because I don't know if even I could survive that, because I can say that when I'm making my backup plans or business continuity plans, whatever you want to call them, I'm only thinking about one thing happening at a time, not all of the things happening at the same time. So it requires a lot of adaptability to be able to handle everything happening in the same month.
Yeah, some things are definitely out of your control.
Yeah.
For example, the licenses with metacodes happening at the same time as lots of other things were a huge issue, and there were not very quick solutions that were offered because the industry is still new. There are not so many options. And especially when you have a big business with lots of clients, it's even more difficult to manage.
Yeah.
People usually think that if you have a smaller company, that it's going to be more difficult for smaller companies, but the opposite is true. When you have lots of clients, then the deals are different, everything is much more different, the costs are different, so the approach has to be different. And every single industry has to go through ups and downs in order for it to find a good spot to be able to operate consistently and long term.
Yeah, and all of this has changed the consumer significantly, because now traders because before traders didn't expect that this could happen, right? So when they were choosing a prop firm, they weren't thinking about, can I trust this company? What will they do in a crisis? How will they manage? Will they come back? How will they compensate me? This is not a normal thing for a trader to think about until this event happened, right? So before, traders were looking at the core offering, and then also the promotions, the cost, and also basically features more than anything.
Now, it will be valid to say that the customer is also looking for a way how to trust the company that is providing the services, like is happening with Pipfarm and PIP Traders Funding.
Now more than ever, yeah. But I think before it was less of a priority. It was maybe number 10 on the list. Now it's number 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm. And keeping that in mind, I would like to open up the conversation and continue with the subject. On this time that you've been working with prop firms and also with the trading community, what have been those key movements that have provided that trust and build that rapport with the community?
So from the very beginning, I was involved in customer support. So I was in Discord, I was talking to traders, I was helping them find solutions, I was guiding the team. So being hands-on and being present at the beginning was very important. So it gave the opportunity for the newer and or the older, the legacy customers, traders, to know me and interact with me. Now it's impossible because the community is so big now. I would not get any work done if I was doing that anymore. But also it allowed me to set the standards and set the tone that now everybody else in the support team is following. So then I become more of a myth rather than an active person in there. But I believe that's how it started. And now I'm doing the same thing, but in a different way. I'm doing it by, traveling different countries and actually meeting traders in person. So it's just diverting that kind of interaction from an online thing to an in-person thing.
Absolutely, and thank you for sharing that, because it's something that we can resonate with the company, also with PIP Traders Funding, that we've been focusing into building trust value with the community and the customers. Keeping in mind that we've been going through an industry that has been going through ups and downs, but also the good actors that are doing the things right are providing, that experience for the customer, that there is an opportunity where they can leverage themselves with a company that is providing the payments, that is well established and doing the right thing. And I would like also to invite Jonathan and Anna, if you would like to share a little bit about building that trust value when it comes to the trading community.
Yeah, what James said, being in touch with the community when you're starting the company is the perfect way to work it, because people are connecting with you and you are connecting with them. That has been what we have been doing for the last 2 years, connecting with the communities, connecting with people. And I can relate to what James said, like at some point I can continue doing it because it's so many people that I would not be doing my job as CEO. So creating a structure with your essence is what builds businesses for the long term, because the whole system will start now doing working like it was you, because it has your essence. So that's the perfect way to work it. To trust value with the communities is building a relationship with them, and then building a relationship with you.
Yeah, and as you said, this is company culture. So you're setting the company culture, and then everyone that is coming on board is just following the culture that you have set. And another thing that is important, when you start a company and communicate with the communities, you get so much feedback and you understand what are the things that traders need and are asking for. So for example, especially if you are not a trader, but you're a business owner like James, I'm not sure if you were a trader, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you're a trader. So you, for example, you understand what a trader would request or what a trader would need. For example, James is not a trader himself, so it's even better to communicate to understand what are the things that the traders are looking for, because as an expert in the tech part or the operations side, you might not be aware of certain things that a trader would be aware of. So connecting is both for building trust, but also for collecting feedback on what can be done better and how the product can be improved.
Yeah, and importantly, executing. Right?
Yeah.
I'll share one anecdote from before. Actually, a few. Before we started to grow how we are now, and it was quite obvious to see how events impacted the daily revenue. One of the most frequent causes of a spike in sales, and you'll be surprised by this, is whenever we had a technology issue. So whenever we had a technology issue, we had a spike in sales. Why? Because of how we handled the issue. And this showed, facing a problem gave me and the team an opportunity to show who we really are. Because no one really pays attention to the normal daily stuff, right? I'll give an example of when you go to a restaurant and everything is fine, and it's exactly what you expect. You won't really remember anything about it. But if you go to a restaurant and they give you the wrong dish, but they do an amazing job of fixing it, and then they don't charge you and they treat you exactly how you would expect to be treated, then you remember. You know, you remember because of how they solved your problem, not because of there not being a problem. You don't remember when there's not a problem, but you do remember how the problem is solved. So I compare it to that. And we always make sure whenever there's a problem. I mean, I don't think this is anything special, but I believe how you treat people and how you reassure them and how you let them know for the time being, everything is going to be fine by the end of the day, and you give them clear expectations. You let them know exactly what's happening. You let them know how it's going to be resolved, and you could reassure them that they will not be at a loss. And then you do all the things that you said, and then they trust you even more, and other people see that and they start to trust you even more. So it's not a strategy that you can replicate on purpose, because that's very evil, but it is something that I observed, and it goes back to how you build trust. So you actually follow through with the things that you say you're going to do.
Yeah, human psychology. People remember how you make them feel, not what you do.
Exactly, yeah.
And actually, it makes sense, because now you were saying that event, and I started to remember that last year we went through 2 migrations. The first one when the whole thing of MetaCode started, and we need to migrate every single trader to DX Trade. And when we moved all traders to DX Trade, yeah, nobody liked DX Trade, but how we handle things during that migration, that transparency and everything, we came stronger than before.
Yeah.
And then we went through our second migration recently, between December and January of this year, because before our risk management technology and everything was through white label. Then we got independence, and is our own technology now. And again, it's a migration, a couple of weeks that traders are not trading, but because of how we were transparent with them and explain the steps and everything, when we started again, we came even stronger than before. And I didn't realize that until now, when you gave that example. So it makes completely sense what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any opportunity that you have to show yourself, basically. And it's the same with me being present at these events, right? Because, I mean, it still surprises me how grateful everyone is that I will come to, like, the event that we had last night in Puerto Rico. They're surprised that I come myself, as if I should be doing something different. I mean, most other CEOs probably would find an excuse not to go, and they'll send a junior employee on a plane, like, you go deal with it, right? Like it's a chore. But for me, it's a pleasure, because this is where the trust comes from. And at the end of the day, everyone knows that anything that happens in the company is because of me and my decisions. So there are very few assurances in the prop industry, unlike CFD or Forex trading, where you have regulators who are there to check everything, right? Traders are the regulators of the prop industry. They have to regulate themselves, and they have to choose and do due diligence with whatever is available. So I'm kind of just helping them, making it easier for them to meet the guy that makes those decisions and has the most impact on their experience within the company.
And I would like to add a little bit about that, because I'm working as community manager on Discord of PIP Traders Funding. I believe that that's actually what the people is looking for, that human connection, that people are there, response. That's why when we had that experience of the migration, everybody was like very active, trying to see, how is the process going. But having the company and the staff, showing up every day, building that rapport, letting them know that we were solving the situation, help us increment, that trust value. And it's also something that is providing like a key point in a moment like right now, that we can resonate, that adding value with trust, with principles, it can also, provide that strength to the industry, which is happening right now with these type of things, these collaborations, and we can continue, growing the community as well. So I would like to speak about psychology, if you would like to, open up the conversation, because it's something very common that I'm experiencing reading the traders on a Discord. And yes, they know the strategy, they know what they're looking for to press the button, but the human emotions is something that sometimes get in the way. So based on your experience, and maybe Anna, you can share a little bit about that, what it will be something that it can be very helpful for that trader that is trying to reach that new level of controlling their emotions and their minds?
Yeah, so psychology is very complex, and psychology is in everything, not only trading. Business is psychology, sales is psychology, everything is psychology. So when it comes to traders, self-awareness is the first thing. If you are not aware, you don't know what kind of problem you're solving. You don't know what kind of problem you have. So you have to first become aware of the problem that you're facing in order to be able to take any steps to resolve your problem. Some traders are aware, but they don't know what to do to help themselves. Some traders are completely unaware, and they just blame other external factors and circumstances because of whatever is happening to them. So that's why it's very important for people to get educated, because there is no way you can become aware if you don't consume information that are helpful to you, for you to understand how your brain operates and how human psychology in general operates, so that you can build a strategy to deal with trading psychology and psychology in everything, because how you do on the charts, you do outside of in your life as well. You cannot split the two, because things that you're doing, if you're a disciplined person in your life in general, it's way easier to replicate this discipline into the charts. If you're not a disciplined person outside of the charts, it's going to be difficult for you to be a disciplined person as a trader. So this is something that we're building in our core that defines our actions. And the actions are just different in different areas, but the psychology and the beliefs behind them are the same.
So it will be valid to say that being a trader is a profession that teaches you how to know yourself?
Yes, like trading is a profession that will not let you not to get to know yourself if you want to be successful. So, for example, if you are a business owner, you have more time to discuss with other people about certain decisions that you're supposed to make for your business. Or if you are fighting with your partner, you still have time to calm down and then have a chat and resolve things. But with trading, we are millisecond away from one clicking of a button that can cause a lot of harm and a lot of financial damage. Not any other kind of harm, but a lot of financial damage that is causing you self-confidence. It can destroy your self-esteem. It can destroy you in lots of different ways mentally. So it's kind of like trading is a profession that forces you to become more consciously aware in the moment, because there is difference between being conscious and being consciously aware in the present moment. Some people are in general aware about their problems, but they get impulsive. They activate their so-called survival mode when they're under high pressure or high stress. And at that moment, they are not conscious. They are either in the present, either in the future or in the past in their mind. And when you're in the future and in the past, you act emotionally. And this is why so many traders struggle with making it to a point where they can be profitable consistently and have peace with the charts rather than an emotional roller coaster.
Thank you for sharing that. Jonathan, would you like to add a little bit about that?
Yes, for basically following the line of Anna, if you are not working on yourself outside of the charts, of the trading, you're not going to have success at the charts. Because I don't want to say it that way, but if you are not successful outside of the charts in life with yourself, you are not going to be successful in the charts. So people need to understand that to become profitable traders, because we have seen, everybody have seen traders like they know what they are doing, but they get emotional and they panic or mess or overtrade and whatever they do. But they are not going to be profitable traders until they understand that part. And it's not like, oh, yes, everything is perfect, everything is fine, everything is okay. No, you need to work on yourself. How is this in English? Like sanar, heal.
Healing.
Heal, I don't know, any trauma that you have in the past that is in your
Subconscious mind.
Thank you. It is there, and if you don't fix that, that will be there every single time. Then when you sit on your chair, put up the chart, that will activate, and you will not be profitable because of that.
Yeah.
No,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Yeah. So the main problem is that traders are over-focused on technical analysis, very few on fundamental analysis, but they don't and when it comes to trading psychology, everyone is talking about fear of missing out and greed, but there is so much more depth.
For me, is something much deeper.
Way deeper. It's
Yes.
way deeper. And they think that if they just implement the general advices that are given for FOMO, don't panic, don't take an impulsive action, or for greed, set rules and just follow the rules. They think that they can do it by just hearing it and implementing the advice. But when it truly happens, they see that this is something there is something that is stronger than them, that is not letting them to follow the plan, to follow the structure, the strategy that they have. So the only way for them to understand that there is something more to work on is to read and understand what is driving human behavior, what is causing different actions, like where are the actions coming from, what kind of beliefs is behind my actions. For example, so many people have the belief of like it's hard to make money, or it's money don't grow on trees. There are so many parents that have been telling that, and all these beliefs are impacting our decisions. So, for example, a person that has the belief that the more that it's hard work gives money, if it's a trader and they have spent the whole day in front of the screens watching the charts and there was no setup, they would be thinking, oh, I spent a whole day and I haven't made a penny. So let me look for a setup, and their brain will create a setup that is not actually there because of the belief that they have to make money if they spend time on the charts.
Yes.
So it's very important to analyze all the beliefs that you have and question these beliefs in order to understand if it's something that is limiting you or it's something that is working for you. And I usually say, because people ask me quite often, Anna, how do I know if my beliefs are limiting beliefs? Ask yourself the question, does this hold true for everyone? If the answer is yes, then it's not a limiting belief. If the answer is no, then it's a limiting belief. So just to give an example, is everyone that is successful working hard? No. So this is a limiting belief. And this is how you trick your brain to expand, to understand what are the things that are holding you back, and to also work on overcoming problems that are not necessary to be there. So yeah, many people are living with limiting beliefs, but they are not even aware that those are limiting beliefs.
And thanks for saying that final line, because most people are living in a way and they don't even know it.
Yeah.
So trading, I was talking last night this with some of the guys on the event. Trading will show the best version of you or the worst version of you, and it's kind of sad when it shows you the worst and you don't work to fix that.
Yeah.
Because if you don't work to fix that, what will happen? You will quit trading, and you will still know you have that thing to fix and you are not fixing it in life. So if you go to any other thing in life, you will not have success, because you are not fixing that worst part of yourself.
Yeah. I always say trading for me has been a healing journey, because I was aware even before I started trading that I had lots of issues and lots of limiting beliefs and things that I had to work on, but I didn't truly start working on them until I started with trading, because I was seeing how much impact they had on me on trading. And once I started learning more about myself, learning more about my beliefs, even though I had quite a lot of knowledge about psychology even from before, I understood that this is a never-ending journey, and it's just incredible to see how much potential we have as people. We are capable of way more than we think. And I wasn't aware of that until I was trying it out myself. So people should be open-minded, and they should be curious to learn about their mind, because it's not going to help them only in trading. It will improve their relationships. It will improve their life quality. It will improve everything in their life. So majority of people live in survival mode. They live in a very stressful state of mind, and it's not cool to be there. It's way more cool to experience a free spirit, freedom, not only financial freedom, but freedom of your mind, in order to see how beautiful life is.
Yes, and understand that we are creators.
Yeah, we are creators. We're all creators.
I think that subject about being conscious, healing ourselves, is being more present, at least from my experience after COVID, after the lockdown.
Yeah.
Interesting.
How so? Why interesting?
Because I agree with you, and I hadn't thought about the timing of it.
So yeah, and that's the reason this is the reason why I'm trying to get into this subject, because after the lockdown, a lot of stuff came to light, and consciously, us as human beings, we begin to have an awakening, starting observing things, the reality, what is happening on the inside. Go ahead.
Yeah, so one thing I noticed, and this is the case for Anna as well, is...
We are getting to the rabbit hole conversation over here. So it's going to go deeper and deeper.
I see you have a plan.
But with a good intention.
But most traders that I've spoken to, they all started trading at basically the same time when COVID started.
That was my case.
That was your case as well?
I began to learn about trading and everything.
Yeah, and mine as well.
Yeah. Oh, welcome to the club.
For me, I was in this industry long before. But and almost every trader, at least in the prop trading community, started during COVID. not necessarily 2020, but 21, 22. And maybe you guys can now continue talking about why that is and why then and why not before.
Would you like to
Do you know
answer?
why? Or because I know why, but I'm curious whether you have reflected.
From my perspective, why people became aware is because we were all locked down. There was no escape. You didn't have nowhere to go. You have yourself, maybe with your family, your partner, but you have nowhere to go. Just stay in your home. And apparently, when you have too much time with yourself, you start like getting inside of your mind. You start maybe observing what is happening.
Yeah.
And from my experience, I started questioning everything. I was
Yes.
like, I used to have a job. I used to wake up early every day, go to the job, work, finish my day, go back to my home, and that was it. But with the lockdown, it was like, okay, I'm here with myself, with my family, and what is all this noise that is happening, you know? And I'm not the only one. Like a lot of people collectively is like having this experience. And at that same time, I begin to learn about Forex and getting introduced to this market as well. And through the journey, I began to see that there is a lot to work with yourself. And for me, like I mentioned, it was COVID that gave me that awareness in a way. But what do you think it was?
Yeah, it's exactly because you got time to sit and ask yourself questions. So healing happens mainly in solitude. And the reason why people are trying to avoid solitude is because it's uncomfortable when this noise in the head starts telling you you're not good enough. You are like all these things that make you feel bad about yourself. The reason why it happened during COVID mainly is because people got more free time and they were locked down, so they started questioning themselves lots of things. Before, you had always so many ways to get a dopamine kick from so many places. If you're not at a job, you can go out with friends, hang out, go for a dinner, go for something else that will give you different types of rewards. And this is a defense mechanism that many people use in order to escape from what they are supposed to face, but they don't want to face because it's painful. It's difficult for them to face the reality, the truth. So many people during COVID had this time. They started reflecting, and that's when you start reflecting, that's when things come to the surface. Whenever you start a healing journey, don't expect that it's going to get better immediately. It first gets worse, and then it start getting better. Same as with trading. For example, when you start with trading, everyone has the beginner luck to make some money without much knowledge at the beginning, and then you go through a drawdown, and like you're just going deeper and deeper and deeper, and you hit a rock bottom when it can get worse, and then you slowly start climbing up, and you become profitable. But it's a journey. The same thing is with the healing journey and understanding yourself, understanding who you are. So people are suffering from mental health. Why? Because they're all the time either in the past or in the future. The past creates depression. The future creates anxiety. And how is the society forcing us to be either in the past or in the future? Social media is a perfect example for that. So with social media, people get exposed to too many things, and which makes them think, oh, this person is much younger than me, but they're so much ahead of me. So what am I doing wrong? Affecting the self-confidence. Or they would see different things and they will think about the past. Oh, if I didn't do this in the past, I would have been at the place of this person.
Yes.
And our brain is made in a way to seek rewards or to avoid pain all the time. And when you see everyone else getting rewards, even though you don't know if they're fake or they're photoshopped or how they are, you just see, oh, this person has rewards, but I don't have them. And people are relating all these things with the limiting beliefs that they have, and they are creating a bad story about themselves. So in order for you to heal, you should first face and understand all these limiting beliefs and all these bad thoughts that you have about yourself. And then you go through a period of pain when you have to accept all the faults that you have and make your ego as low as possible, because everyone has ego.
Absolutely.
Many people misunderstand the term ego because they think that ego is just being arrogant or just being selfish or having like narcissistic patterns, but that's not ego. Ego is the picture that you want to present in front of others that is not you, the core you. So the ego is mainly produced by the society, by the caretakers, your parents, your teachers as a kid, and people think that and they live on a default mode to meet the ego's needs all the time because the brain is afraid of something that is unfamiliar, and you have been already programmed. The ego knows that you have to make sure that in every single situation you're going to prove yourself that you're not good enough. So whatever you do, no matter what you achieve, you should always find the person that is better than you to prove you that you're not good enough. And that's how people continue sabotaging themselves. So you should start accepting to do things that feel uncomfortable for the brain and feel uncomfortable for yourself in order to start the healing journey. So what people that struggle with I'm not good enough is they cannot take a break. They cannot stop. They're always seeking a new thing to get to improve or new thing to get better at in order for them to become good enough, but they will never become good enough because there will be always a next thing and a next thing and a next thing. And when you operate with such kind of pressure, you have so high cortisol or all the time in your body. And when you have high cortisol, you're not really acting rationally, but emotionally. Because with high cortisol, the prefrontal cortex or the logical brain cannot work or is not operating.
Can you give us like an example of how we can regulate that into our favor?
Yes. So the first thing is understanding the main hormones that we have in the body or the main drivers of the emotions, which is cortisol, oxytocin, serotonin, and dopamine. These are the 4 hormones that we need to regulate in order to be able to have a good balance and not to live under high cortisol all the time. So understanding how is my daily life looking and which activities are making the different hormones to be produced. So for example, an intense workout spikes the cortisol. What can I do to lower the cortisol? Oh, maybe meditation, because meditation or warm bath increases oxytocin. Oxytocin is the feel-good hormone. So you should start understanding which activities are affecting my hormonal regulation so that I can adapt the routine or a schedule that will help me to stay balanced and not to have one hormone too high, the other one too low, that will cause disbalance. Because whenever there is disbalance in the body, then you cannot be in the creation mode or you're in survival mode and you're taking emotional rather than rational decisions.
Absolutely, and I can resonate with that when we are like so focusing into doing stuff, maybe like our consciousness or our higher self.
Yeah.
Maybe it cannot be so clear to listen and to act accordingly to that.
Yeah.
And it comes to my mind that when the ego is about to experience like a death, it will start screaming like the program that you have in your mind of your belief system. It will come out fighting, because it doesn't want to be erased.
Yes.
And that is also one of my intention by bringing this subject, because it speak about healing, going into our inner self. And I know that in a way we are all connected with that healing journey.
Yeah.
So if you would like to share a little bit about what involves your healing experience and somebody that is trying to look for tools on how to begin this journey, I would love to know a little bit about your experience if you would like to begin, and then we have Jonathan and also James.
Sure. So my healing journey has been a very long one, and I can tell everyone that it takes time, and you should give yourself time. You should not try to rush the process as with trading. Mm-hmm. You should not try to rush the process with your healing journey as well, because how I usually explain it to other people is the healing journey is like an onion. You have to take layer by layer in order to come to the core. But you have to spend time with each layer, because each layer is one state of mind. Then you take out this layer, you create a new state of mind, and you create new awareness about new beliefs that you have had or you're having. So personally, I didn't have a very pleasant childhood, and I'm raised in a third world country, so things have been challenging in different ways. So from one point of view, I had issues with my challenging childhood. I had to grow up earlier than all other kids. I moved out from home earlier. I was a very temperament and curious teenager, quite troublesome as well. So all these experiences led to different beliefs, led to different, affected my self-esteem, I would say. So I was aware that I had the belief of not being good enough, and I was sabotaging myself way too much, of setting completely unrealistic goals and putting insane pressure on myself in order to be able to achieve them. And I went through mistakes, and the way how I understood that I have to start changing something about my life is hitting rock bottom. And that's usually what happens with the majority of people. You have to hit a rock bottom to say, hey, I can't keep going this way. Like, I'll not get anywhere. So I came to a point of I can give an example. I was not sleeping enough for a very long time. So I had multiple jobs, juggling bunch of things, and I was sleeping like 3-4 hours per day. And I was biking to university, and I see a car coming. My brain is braking, but my body is late. So this was a sign that you are burned out. You have to take a break. You have to do something about your life. And there were multiple situations where I started getting anxiety attacks, and not just a simple anxiety attack. It was like a real anxiety attack of not being able to take a breath, and then burst crying, and then my mood was starting to change like drastically. And I knew quite a lot of psychology, and I knew that these were all symptoms of a burnout. And I knew that the reason why I'm burned out is because I'm all the time with the belief I'm not good enough, I have to do more, and I wasn't accepting myself as I am. I was a perfectionist. And when I started this healing journey, it mainly started with self-help books. So, and I started questioning myself, what is the life that I want to live? What is my life mission? What are my core values? And I started questioning every single activity that I do, whether it aligns with my purpose and my mission and my core values or not. And that's how I started slowly selecting, okay, I'm going to remove this from my list, and I'm going to keep this on my list. And things became, of course, harder because my I'm not good enough belief was making me to fill my schedule to an extent of not like giving myself break for eating, or I was all the time eating in front of my computer and working at the same time. I would go to the gym and multitask and listen to a podcast, listen to a book. I was multitasking all the time because I thought that in order for me to be good enough, I have to be more productive, I have to do more things. But this is completely counterproductive because I was all the time in the present. That's why I was getting anxiety attacks. I was all the time thinking of what are the things that I'm supposed to do in order to become good enough. So when I understood that I have to do the opposite of what I'm supposed to, this was so unfamiliar for my brain. And it was causing, it was whenever you present something that is unfamiliar for the brain, it's danger. The brain doesn't differentiate between imagined and real danger. So when you give something unfamiliar, the brain doesn't want to accept it because it takes much more energy for the brain to process the new thing rather than just living on the autopilot that doesn't require energy, and you just can keep going and going in the same loop. So I had to erase everything from my schedule, and I had to sit and do nothing. And when you sit and do nothing, that's when the thoughts are kicking in even more. And this is what made many people to start the healing journey during COVID, because they had no other choice than to just sit with themselves. And when you start sitting with yourself and I highly recommend to everyone to start journaling. Because when you just sit with yourself and the thoughts are just coming, you just start feeling more overwhelmed. and you just feel that I'm going crazy. But when you start writing, it's like you coaching yourself, but from another, from an observer perspective, not like it's happening to you. So what I started doing is I started like journaling about everything, lots of journal prompts, and I started looking at myself and meditating and envisioning the stressed me with me, the coach. And I was starting giving advices to myself and coaching myself on what I'm supposed to do. And no matter what, I had decided I'm gonna make this happen now or never. Or I will either kill myself continuing with this high tempo and with this pressure, with this anxiety, or I will make a complete shift and complete change. And this will be the new chapter in my life or the new cycle. So I started doing that. I started erasing things from my schedule. And I purposefully decided to travel to Asia because I knew that there I will have people that it's much easier. I don't know if you have read the book Atomic Habits.
I have seen the book, but I definitely got to read it though.
It's a really good one. So if you have an environment that supports your values and your the habits that you want to integrate, it's way easier for the brain to adapt. It's way easier for you to adapt rather than when you're in an environment that is not supporting that. So I knew that in Asia, I will have an environment that will support my healing journey because majority of people that are going through a healing journey are heading there because they know that people in Asia are the best in when it comes to holistic health and ancient healing. So that's why I decided to go to Asia. And during all the months that I spent there like 8 months. I was all the time going and attending to different retreats, to different like healing therapies, talking to people that have been working on that for years and years, talking to people that have had even bigger issues than mine that went through a healing journey. And this was the best thing that I did, definitely, because this was the thing that helped me to really heal and free my spirit and to be this carefree person that is like on ecstasy all the time. But as I told you yesterday, I produce my ecstasy naturally without taking any.
This is like your natural high, you know?
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing that, you know, because I believe that a lot of people, we are trying to achieve, you know, that state of living, you know?
Yeah.
Like that highness, but in a natural way that we can be fully present.
Yeah.
So if this is the first time that you're listening to this kind of subject about healing, going, you know, deeper into yourself, don't worry, you know, because maybe this can be a good point where you can start like discovering what is happening with yourself, looking for tools, you know, like meditating, journaling. So we're going to continue the conversation. I would like to ask James, do you have something that you can share that it was key in your process to working with yourself?
I have not as much as Anna to share.
Okay.
But I'm aware of how I was sabotaging myself for many years. At the beginning, I introduced myself and I explained the long career that I have. And I was always trying to build a career, right? So while doing that, you lose track of yourself. So I realized that I was not taking care of myself in any way whatsoever. And it kind of just accumulates and it gets worse and worse and worse until you reach a rock bottom. And for me, I mean, this sounds quite exaggerated, but my rock bottom was actually this year, where I was completely exhausted and couldn't make any decisions anymore. Because I had one problem.
Last year.
Last year or this year?
It was last year.
This is 2025, last year is 2024.
2024.
But it was December.
End of last year.
What is time, right? What is time? You know, it was a couple of,
yeah.
It was this recently time.
We can say either because it was December, January, end of December, start of January. So yeah, let's ignore the calendar, but it was not that long ago. And basically, I reached a point where I just couldn't make decisions properly anymore. And there was this one last decision that I made that was really hard and really painful, that it just took the last life out of me. And it wasn't until I started talking with Anna about that issue and all the issues connected with it that I could actually move forward from there. So my rock bottom wasn't very dramatic, but it was a bottom and I was stuck and I couldn't get out of this there was some barrier in front of me or here.
Okay.
And yeah, it was actually very quick to get around it.
Would you like to share, how you were able to overcome that situation?
Actually talking about it, because at that time I was not even thinking or reflecting on anything. The reason is because I was overworked. I was not prioritizing properly. I was not delegating properly. I was just not doing anything properly. Just because I took everything so personally, and this is, the ego. So I had to take a step back, and this is what Anna helped me to do, is to take the step back, because when you have so many things to do, it's counterintuitive. I mean, it's not, but it is. It's counterintuitive to stop, right? Because as Anna explained, stopping just doesn't make sense when you're trying to move forward, right? And this is something that even though I knew deep down that it's right and it makes sense, logically I just felt like it couldn't make sense. When there is so much to do, how is it possible that stopping helps, So I had to kind of reorganize and reevaluate many things. And as I mentioned, that was recent. So when we talk about a healing journey, I don't think I really have a journey to share, because it's only very recently that I understood how just working endlessly 18 hours a day is the worst thing that you can do if you want to work, So I'm just being much kinder to myself and giving myself breaks and not taking everything so personally. And yeah, basically just allowing myself time to breathe between different responsibilities and obligations in life, and trying to giving myself time to be me and not just being a slave to a company or a slave to other tasks. Because again, the irony of wanting to have your own company is not, it comes with tons of responsibility, but it also comes with freedom. And everyone has a different definition of what freedom is. And but for me, I believe that I can extract freedom from my company, but I was not doing anything to let that be true. So yeah, I was just very disorganized in my thoughts and my mind and my priorities. And it wasn't until I put less pressure on myself could I actually think about not just what's important, but how to get where I want to get, because I was just running and not even thinking about where I'm going. Just run harder, run faster, and run more. But again, when you do that, you have no idea where you're going to end up.
And thank you for sharing, I know that you're saying that maybe you are not in a healing journey, but I will say the opposite.
It is, yeah. It is
you
the beginning of your journey.
Yeah, this is what I mean. There is not much to share.
But there was something to share.
Yeah.
There is a lot of
You are being
Yeah.
aware of what is happening to you. You became aware of this was happening to me. Let me just take a step back. Let me speak about it. So, thank you for sharing, because I do know that maybe somebody that is listening can also resonate with your story as well.
Yeah, I believe that lots of people are not talking about it and not seeking help. And even James was not looking for a solution himself. He didn't know, he wasn't aware that there is a solution to this. So I was the one who started coaching him without being asked for a coaching session.
But it just came to happen, right?
Yeah.
You cross paths.
Of course, when you work together, I have to address the things that I see that are blocking the progress. So if I don't do that, I'm not doing my job. Or, for me, the coaching is now in my, in my subconscious, or it's in me. It's part of me. Okay. So even when someone is not booking a coaching session, I'm kind of directly analyzing people and pointing out different limiting beliefs. Because from different comments that I get, from different behavioral patterns, I can directly see what is holding a person back. And this is a huge advantage for me, because I can understand what is holding back an industry. I can understand what is holding back a person. When you can read a person psychologically, you have superpower, because you know how to, superpower if you use it in a good way, because many people misuse it.
Yeah, it's all about the intention,
Yeah. Many people are good at reading other people's body languages, other people's strong parts, weaknesses, and they will attack the weaknesses. But if you have good intentions, it's again superpower, because you can see which approach you can take with a person in order to help them to start doing something about themselves. So, for example, I already knew what kind of person James is, and I started questioning him in a way that will make him become aware of that there is way more lots of things to work on that are very crucial for the company. So, for example, in the company and also your life, because everything is connected. Absolutely. As I said before. So when I started questioning James about different things, it was done not really consciously by me, but I knew that it was necessary for the business and also for James as a person. And it was interesting how it all started, I would say, because I'm more of a tough love coach. Okay. I'm very straight to the point. I don't take the same approach with everyone, but with majority of people, I make them feel bad at the beginning in order for them to kind of understand that I have to do something about this now. So I started like pointing out things that are a surprise for many people, and but these are things that will make them take steps towards doing something about their life and towards learning more about themselves. So many people are, first of all, not aware. So that's why it's our job to talk about it, to share our stories so that people can resonate with us and would say like, oh, I find myself in this story. So there is something that I'm supposed to do there. So the first thing is raising the awareness so that people can understand that there is something to be done. And second thing is ask for help. Like, I haven't done whole this journey myself. I've been going to healers, I've been going to psychologists, and I've been getting support. It's much easier and better for you to seek support rather than trying to do everything on your own. Because when you try to do everything on your own, first of all, it will take you much longer time. Second, it will be more difficult because when, for example, I'm a very conscious person. I have a lot of knowledge, not only from neuroscience and psychology, but also holistic health and in general, the biology and chemistry of the body. And I can easily understand where are the gaps and what are the things that you are supposed to learn or pay attention to or try. So reach out to an experienced person if you want this journey to be less painful and to be faster, but don't expect it to be fast because everything takes time. And I always, like, you can always give analogies with other professions. For example, if you are a trader, yes, you can maybe become profitable on your own, but your journey will be much better and faster if you find a solid mentor that will say, this is not good in your technical analysis, you have to pay attention more to this. This is not good with your fundamental analysis, you have to learn more about that and understand that. So it's the same with the healing journey. You have to, first of all, seek knowledge that will bring awareness, and second of all, seek support so that you can find the best and most efficient way for you to achieve the results that you want to achieve.
And thank you for sharing that. And thank you for sharing, because I understand that maybe we try to do a lot of stuff alone, but if we have the right people by our side with the right intention, we can definitely go to a new level.
Yeah.
And I would like to open up a little bit about that. You both as CEOs of the company, and I would like to know your thought, Jonathan. How important has it been for you, like surrounding yourself with the right people and somebody that is trying to surround themselves with good quality people? What will be your advice and your experience?
Yes. Actually, before answering that, I would like to talk about the healing process, because I said earlier that most people are not aware, which what you also said. They are living in a way, and they are not aware of it, and that was exactly my case. I was living in a way, and I didn't know why until I started my healing process a couple of years ago. I was raised by a single mother, and he made a wonderful job with me. But obviously, everybody needs that mother and that father. So I didn't know I was living my whole life trying to fill
Gap.
that gap of not having that father every single day in my home with external things, and that using external things started to develop depending on my age. It started with, for example, and it's not something I'm not saying it's bad, but started with gaming. I was a gamer like 24 hours, and now I understand I was trying to fill that gap.
Yeah.
Then it came when I was started to get older, alcohol, parties, everything. And when I started my healing process, then I understood that I simply had a gap because of of not having my father. And when I made peace with that, I started to feel that with God. And now I feel more close to God, and maybe God is something for you, is another thing for you, and it's
Yeah.
another thing for you. And not saying in a really strictly religious way.
Yeah.
But when I healed that, I became a better person, a better trader, a better partner,
Yeah.
a better business owner, and better in every single thing, because I understood the essence of. Actually, that took me to understand the essence of life, and for the first time in my 30 years, I felt closer to God.
Yeah, yeah, it's really interesting and beautiful that you're sharing that. It's spirituality. And in order to become spiritual and to get this connection with God, Krishna, Allah, whatever you believe in, I usually call it universe, because again, like, I don't want to put accent or highlight the religious part of it. It's spirituality for me.
Yes.
So in order to create this connection, you cannot create the connection from a survival mode. You should be in a creation mode to raise your frequency to make this deep connection. So I don't want to use like too advanced words, because it might be already overwhelming for people listening and watching. But what you mentioned, there is mother wound and father wound, and it doesn't mean that if you are lacking one or the other one is the thing that is causing the wound. It can be also how you've been treated from your parent that are causing a mother wound or a father wound that can be affecting your life. So there is so much to be learned and so much to dive deeper into and to understand. But people should, I don't want to like share too much in the conversation, because it's a topic for lots of other podcasts, not just one.
Yes.
If we're gonna go deep.
Yeah. So wanted to share that about the healing process. And what was the question again about the team?
Absolutely. So how important it is, you as CEOs, building a company, and also I would love to know your thought, Anna, because you are very involved with building community. How important it is to surround yourself with the good or the right people when you are building or working with yourself.
Yes. To me, it's very important because we don't know everything. We need to know who is. I don't know how to say it in English. No es saberlo todo, es saber al que lo conoce.
It's not about knowing everything, it's who you know.
It's
Yeah,
not what you know, it's who you know.
It's exactly. Thanks for the translation. So, having a group of experts of different areas of the business is key, not for my success, it's for the success of the company. An expert on risk management, an expert on community, an expert on finance, an expert on every single area. So we as CEOs can guide the company with our leadership and our vision of why we created the company. And like I said earlier, creating a structure with your essence is key for the success of every single company.
That's awesome. I can share from a lower level. So when we're talking about people, one experience that we had in the early days of the company was the bad apple effect. So we had one underperformer. we brought another person, and then they started underperforming, and we could see in real time how one bad person or one low quality person was having a cascading effect on the entire team. And this is again highlighting the importance of why you should have good quality people, and when you know that you don't, you should also react quickly. So I made a bunch of mistakes there. First of all, actually I didn't make a mistake bringing the person. I think there was a fundamental mistake in why I brought the person. But then also not reacting quickly enough. Because there were red flags, but I was just not prioritizing properly. I was busy with other stuff, and just the idea of having to solve this solution just felt like a low priority to me until I understood, thanks to Anna, who was managing these people at the time, that they were taking away her productivity, and they were causing harm. You know, it wasn't just about the one person's salary that wasn't doing enough work. It was also the effect that it had on other employees who were using their behavior to justify them not working and using excuses of the other person. And then also you having to deal with those people meant that your time and energy was being taken away from much more important stuff. And then as soon as Anna explained the consequences of keeping this person, who at the time I just thought it was a few $1,000s, and then I understood, oh wow, this is actually...
Now they're gonna hate me more.
Let them, because all of this is true, and the right decisions were made eventually.
And now you are in a better place thanks to that.
Yeah.
Like you have a good team, you know, everything is going well, everything is growing.
And the lesson learned was to get rid of people fast as well. You know, it's not a charity. I don't owe anyone anything. And yeah, it's annoying, and it's, I mean, administratively annoying, because hiring people takes time, firing people takes time, but the consequence is you make a bad working environment for other people, and then they stop performing, and then the whole company stops performing. So yeah, it's important to find the right people, and it's also important to get rid of the wrong people.
And if somebody that is trying to look for the right people, what would be some piece of advice that you can give them?
The piece of advice is to know psychology, or find someone who knows psychology.
The in-between word was have an Anna on your team.
What would you recommend or advise somebody that is trying to surround themselves with the right people, or how they can identify?
Yeah, don't listen to words, look at actions.
Okay.
If I'm gonna be short and concise.
Beautiful.
So put the person on test with a strategy and see how they are acting. Don't listen to what they're saying. This is the best way. And of course, like, that's why I said I have a lot of advantage by knowing a lot of psychology and being able to read people. And also understanding that a person who has high tendency of stressing and pressuring themselves will cortisol is contagious. The stress hormone is contagious. So if you surround yourself with people that are too stressed and under high cortisol all the time, it affects the whole team. Same with productivity. If you're surrounded with people with low productivity, your productivity drops. If you're surrounded with people with high productivity or high achievers, your productivity increases, and that's why it's the bad apple effect is when you put one spoiled apple in a bag with good apples, it spoils the other apples much faster. So you have to make sure to understand, do you thrive in the environment where you are? Are you getting energy? Again, when you become spiritually awakened, or when you are more conscious of yourself, when you understand the energy of the other person, you will notice quickly, is this person good for me or not? If you feel that the person is draining you all the time and is not providing any type of value, get rid of them as soon as possible. Don't waste your energy, because energy is everything. And it defines everything that we do. So it's very important to surround yourself with things, do things that will give you energy, and surround yourself with people that give you energy. I believe that everyone has heard that you are the average of the 5 people that you hang out with. This is very true, because the people that you hang out with will affect your beliefs, they will affect your routine, they will affect lots of things. So we all learn all the time from different people and from different experiences that we do. So, and based on who you spend your time with, it will define like how far in life you're gonna go and you're gonna get. If you hang out all the time with people that don't have interests, that are just binge watching Netflix, and they are just waiting, the only thing that they think about is to finish with work, go back home, and just watch Netflix, and then go to bed, and then repeat the same cycle over and over again. And then when Friday comes, just go out, drink with the friends. Saturday, another thing, Sunday hangover, and then we repeat the same cycle from Monday.
Yes.
If you hang out with such kind of people, what kind of knowledge are you gonna get? Yes, you might hear about the new Netflix series that is interesting to watch, but where is it gonna take you? Nowhere. But when you hang out with people that have different interests, not only what you're interested in, but different interests, you will hear different perspectives. You will learn about new areas, new things. If you go and experience different things, again, you learn new lessons. So, for example, when I went to Asia, everyone there is focused on well-being and mental health. I learned so much more there. If I was in Sweden, because I lived in Sweden before I went to Asia, if I was just in Sweden, I couldn't get this knowledge anywhere because no one was really into holistic health. Yes, people do some yoga, they do some rituals, but it's not even close to the level how it is in Asia. So I knew that in order for me to grow in this aspect, I have to surround myself with people that are good at this aspect or in this area. If I want to become good at sports, what do? I hire a personal trainer. I'm not going to go and try to make a plan for myself when I don't know anything about, let's say, weightlifting. I don't want to go and break my back and start lifting a weight that is not suitable for my weight and my height. So that's why you should always look for people that are successful and good at the things that you want to improve at, and always be curious and open-minded. Another problem that people have is they're not open-minded to try new things. And until you try, you can't know if something is good or bad and if something is right or wrong. So you should be open-minded, and you should look for people that are good at specific areas where you're more behind, so that you can learn more from them. And in order to get, of course, you have to give as well. So always think of, how can I approach this person that is better in this field than me? How can I provide value for them so that I can absorb the knowledge that they have, so that I can implement it into my life? So I have done this, and I've been doing this all the time in all aspects, in all areas of life. There is always something that you can give. It doesn't matter if it doesn't have to be financially, it can be in other ways. But when you give, you will receive. If you just want to receive all the time, people will not be willing to give. And if you just give all the time, you will get demotivated because you're not going to receive. So it's all about giving and receiving. It's all about making right connections and understanding how we can empower each other, how we can help each other grow together. So if you're with people that are focused on personal development and mental well-being, the chances of you becoming good at that are really high.
Yes.
That's what I meant by rabbit hole conversations. Okay. Go ahead, Jonathan.
There's a phrase our mothers always say. I don't know if in your countries, but if I'm going to translate to English, they usually said, "Tell me with who you are, and I will tell you who you will be."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We have it as well, and that's exactly how it is.
Yes.
If there is another thing from psychology, oh my God, I can talk about it forever. Dr. Tara Swart that I told you about yesterday, my favorite neuroscientist. She mentioned that people connect based on their emotional wounds. So we all have emotional wounds, and the example that I'm giving most of the times is a people pleaser connecting with a narcissist, because that's the most common case everywhere. So for even in partnership, in business, in any kind of area of life, usually narcissists connect with people pleasers. Why? Because narcissists want attention and people pleasers are the ones giving attention. So it brings them together really easy. When you start your healing journey, you start understanding that you have been conditioned with beliefs that you should be a people pleaser to be accepted by society, or the narcissist haven't gotten enough attention and care from their parents or their caretakers. That's why they develop this narcissistic behavior, and they kept with that for the rest of their life, or they're just looking for people that will satisfy their needs that they created as kids by not having enough attention from their caretakers. So what happens is when you start your healing journey, you start changing. You start understanding that, oh, these beliefs are making me a people pleaser and are holding me back because I'm spending way too much time prioritizing things that I'm not supposed to prioritize, that are not going to help me to move forward in life, but are just keeping me stuck or holding me back. So when you start healing, if the person that you are with is not keeping up with you, this will cause fights and repulsion, and you would not like to hang out anymore because your frequency will be on a completely different level, you're not going to vibe. If I'm going to use the terms that people are familiar with, you will no longer feel any kind of connection. So the emotional wound is the one that is bonding us, and the emotional wound, once we heal from the emotional wound, is the one that is making us split apart and change our circle. For example, I believe that all of you will resonate with me if you are not hanging out with people that you've been hanging out when you were 5 years old. Maybe you have one friend or two friends that had a similar vision or similar mission in life that are still in your life, but you are not all the time in the same circle. Why? Because every time that you climb a step up, you are overcoming an emotional wound or a limiting belief, and you're no longer at that frequency. You're raising your frequency, and you find a new circle, a new level, then again and again and again. So that's how we connect with people, and that's how we split with people as well.
Wow.
I don't know if it was confusing I don't know if it was confusing or...
So I want to stay in that line of the frequencies and people surrounding you.
Yeah.
So is there a way, or there is no way that you can reach again the people that are on lower frequencies?
Yes, you can go down. That's why it's important to filter out the surrounding. So a person that is with a higher frequency and higher self-consciousness gives energy to the one that is on a lower frequency. That's why when you're with people that are on lower frequency than yours, you will get tired easier if you're a very aware person. So your body will tell you, this is draining a lot of energy from you, so you have to do something about it. Also with activities, alcohol, for example. Alcohol is something that lowers the frequency. You feel tired every single time when you drink more than you're supposed to drink. And your body is telling you, this is not good for you. This is something that puts you in a position that is not good for the body. It brings toxins to your body. So if you don't take care of your body and your mind, they will not serve you, of course. So yeah, it's very important to, I'm not telling everyone like, oh, if your partner is a lower frequency, just leave them immediately. Try to give them a hand and try to support them to follow with you on your journey. This way you can grow together. But if you see that the person is not open-minded and the person is not taking the help, or like receiving the help, and open to receive the help, then it's better to just leave them and move forward, because at the end of the day, we are all responsible for our own emotional state. No one else is responsible to make us happy. No one else is responsible to make us confident or to make us feel good. We should, it's our responsibility to make us feel good about ourselves and to accept ourselves as we are. And something interesting that I did after when I was done with my healing journey, and I was like, yes, I made it. I went so many months without any anxiety. I was like, I have to put a tattoo for this whole healing journey. And one of the main meanings of the tattoo that I put about my healing journey is imperfection is perfect, because this is what makes you authentic and real. That's what makes you the true you. So I have Lord Ganesha tattooed, and one of the horn is broken, but just to symbolize imperfection, and that imperfection is perfect. So once people understand that they should accept themselves as they are and do something, they can do something about it. Because if you don't accept your faults, if you don't accept and the bad things about yourself, you cannot move forward, because you will not do anything about the things that are making you to be you. So use your imperfections as your superpower. Don't use them as something that will harm your confidence and your self-esteem.
Thanks for that, because you don't know it, but you have been medicine right now for me.
Really?
Yes.
For everybody, also, I resonate, yeah.
Yes, because I didn't understand something, and with what you said, it makes whole sense now. When you said when you are in higher frequency, then you can give energy to the lower person,
Yeah.
so they can continue their journey.
Yeah.
And like a month or month and a half ago, I started to get aware that I wasn't talking with who at some point I felt like they were my best friends, and I was like, oh my God, I haven't talked to them like in a year, and I started to miss them, and actually started to dream with them, and then I, like 2-3 days later, when I dreamed with one of them, he wrote me like, hey bro, how are you? I know it's been a long time, let's connect and everything. And I was like, this is not coincidence. And we meet again, we have like a 6-hour conversation, and I feel like I needed to be there to talk with him and give him energy, because I feel it. When we were having these conversations, and I talked to him about my journey and everything, it was like the beginning of his journey. And I didn't understand it until now, when you explained that if you are in higher frequency, it's inevitable. You will start to not to talk people because they're not in your same frequency.
Yeah.
But you can go lower, gives them energy, so
Yeah.
they can continue or start their journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
So thanks for that, because I didn't realize until now.
Yeah, so this is quantum physics. The world is always aiming for equilibrium. So if you're at a higher frequency and someone is at a lower frequency, the physics makes for everything to like come to an equilibrium. And the good thing is with mindfulness techniques, people think that mindfulness techniques is just woo-woo. No, it's not. The purpose of mindfulness techniques is to raise your frequency, to get the energy from natural sources, from nature. I told you, I love spending time in nature, because when I'm giving energy, when I work with clients, with traders, for example, I give energy. Like my job as a coach is to give energy and to empower people, to help them to go up, to climb a layer up. So when I'm having sessions, I give energy, and I know that I need to recharge my energy to be ready for the next client. I cannot just book client after client and exhaust myself, because this will bring me to a low energy, and it will be way too harder for me to climb back again. So it's very important to have regular checkups with yourself, to check where you are and to do the things that you're supposed to do in order to raise your frequency and keep a good balance with yourself. I'm also like, it's really good because I'm sharing with James quite a lot about my journey and what I do. If it was someone who is completely unfamiliar with healing and frequency, quantum physics and all these things, they would think like, this girl is crazy.
But maybe
I would be like, sometimes when I hold a webinar for traders, I would, for example, we would have a team meeting and we will discuss a bunch of things, and then I will have a webinar, and then I have a private client scheduled, and then I would just message James, I need 30 minutes to raise my request. So what I do is I meditate, or I just do some of the things that are helping me to raise my frequency, but I'm always make sure that I need to have some time before my session so that I can be fully present and give my best to the client that I'm working with.
To literally recharge.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And speaking about recharging, we as people, as how would we say that, as light worker, we can put it that way, that we are always to the service of people. Something that comes to my mind is who motivates the motivator, and who recharge us when we are always giving. And from my experience, I've been connecting with sound, nature also, and exercises as well, and surrounding myself with people that it can be vitamin people, people that it can raise your vibration as well. So I don't know if that is something that has been happening to you also.
Yeah, all of those things actually. So exercising, even when I'm tired, I'll exercise because it helps me to clear my mind and just in general feel better. Yeah, definitely being around certain people is really helpful and beneficial. And then also, I have a dog, so for me, a great tool that I have is just taking the dog, going for a walk for 2 hours. And I don't have a lot of nature where I am, but I'm close to it. It's just it would be, I don't have time to go deep into the forest, but I can still take a walk around the city, and it's still beautiful. So yeah, those tools are really helpful for me.
And thank you for sharing. It comes also to my mind that we as maybe light workers or people that is always at service, it's very important to have our intuition and our discernment in the right place. And yesterday you give a definition of intuition. So for the people that are listening, what is intuition?
Yeah, intuition is your gut feeling or the voice that is coming from your core. So there is a difference between the noise that I was talking about yesterday that was caused by limiting beliefs. So we all have a voice in the head that is the limiting beliefs that are holding us back. But once you heal and start questioning them, once you raise your frequency and you're with low cortisol in a calm state of mind, that's when your intuition is developed and you can hear it. So this is the voice in your head that is telling you to do the right thing, that is aligning with the core of you, with who you truly are.
Values and principles.
Values and principles, yes. That's intuition, but you can't hear it if you're in a survival mode. So in order to be able to hear your intuition, you have to first get out of survival mode. And another thing is the mother wound and father wound. Like people that have a mother wound that is not healed are less likely to be able to listen and understand their intuition than people that have that don't have a mother wound. Because father wound is related to discipline, purpose, and mission. Mother wound, and everyone has masculine and feminine energy. People think that, girls just have feminine and guys just have masculine. We all have one of the general hermetic principles that we all live by is polarity, and we all have masculine and feminine. So the father wound is related to discipline, mission, purpose. The feminine is creation. Why is feminine creation? It's a mother that is giving birth. It's the feminine is the creative energy, the playful energy, the flow. So and the flow is also, and the creation is coming from intuition. The intuition is what triggers the creation. So these are topics that people can look into in order to start understanding this side of the world that is very unfamiliar for many of them.
And I think that this conversation also opened the way for the people to start like that journey of diving a little bit, going deeper, getting that intuition, into the right place. And that is something that I want to, to share as well. Like, thank you for your values, your principles, as well, because I think that we are having this conversation because we are aligned with that, with those key components into ourselves. So to start, like maybe ending the conversation, I don't know if Jonathan, you want to share something also, and you can guide us.
Yeah, something I didn't said earlier. Basically, what you said right now, that I am very happy for this episode. I felt it yesterday that it was going to be a very good collaboration because when you guys said what were the values of the company, I literally saw us talking because are equally the same values of transparency, providing opportunities, doing the right things. And this pretty good conversation of today confirms that. And we have been from prop space to spirituality, health to healing and everything. So thanks for sharing all this medicine and for all the insights of our companies. And I wanted to actually to start to land in the plane because I can continue talking.
Yeah, we can,
Well, we can
talk
continue
until
talking.
tonight.
to watch.
We have been more than 1 hour and a half.
But we want to respect and honor everybody's time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So going back to prop space specifically, James, what do you expect of our industry for the future of prop space?
So I think the industry has contracted recently because of the trust, right? So, and this is why I made the point that we need a strong industry. We don't just need it to be strong, we also need it to be big. One of the things that I've learned over the past few months while talking with traders and traveling, there are many traders who used prop firms and even started trading with prop firms. Like that was the start of their career. And then they stopped and they switched to brokers because they were tired of companies shutting down. They were tired of having to negotiate their payouts and things like that. So they just decided, well, I've already made some money, or I have another way to get money, and I'm just going to trade my own money with a normal Forex account. So that has contracted the market. And then at the same time with the contraction, it also limits the growth, because what makes people more aware of prop firms is other traders having success with prop firms. That's why the boom happened, because every time someone shares a payout and talks about their success, it raises awareness not just of the company, but also of the whole industry. So all of these things kind of happen in a sequence, and this causes the growth of the industry, and then we had a contraction. So we should allow it to grow again. So I believe that there will be more growth, there will be more trust, and I believe that it will not just be a strong industry, but it will also be a really big industry. And in terms of, this is just feelings, but it's what should happen based on the things that we know and the things that we will do and already are doing. And when I say we, I don't just mean Pipfarm, I mean we collectively in this room, and also the other companies that I'm in touch with. So one of the beautiful things that happened, which I didn't expect to happen, is by being public about the issues within the industry, it triggered other competitors to reach out, and I managed to make a relationship with so many other competitors who share the same values as we do in this room. And I didn't expect that. I didn't know that because I was biased before, looking before. Like I said earlier, I'm not judgmental, but I used to be. I used to judge other companies for failing because they must have done something wrong. And then I went through a tough time, and I could see how tough it can be even without doing anything wrong, and just, a bus hits you. And then I understood the challenges that they had to go through, and I also understood the high possibility that not everyone can get through them, even if they try their absolute hardest and with the best of intentions. Sometimes the circumstances win. So the future of the industry, I think, is bright and prosperous, and I believe that we will all thrive as long as we share the same values, which is to do good business, I mean, good business is very vague, and it can also mean something different to different people, but always just to have the end customer in mind and provide value, not just take value.
Yes.
To have this equilibrium, right? To give and to receive, which is exactly what a good business should be doing. It shouldn't just be taking. It obviously shouldn't just be giving. We need to understand what both parties need for this to work.
Yes. The whole industry, need to work on one single thing, and you already said it, and it's trust value.
Mhm.
That is
Trust
all we
value.
need to do.
Yeah.
Elevate trust value of the industry, and all the prop firms will have the growth that they are looking for.
Yeah, true.
What about you, Anna? What do you think about it?
I definitely am an optimist. I definitely think that it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. This industry is here to grow. There will be challenges. It's completely normal for as every single industry to go through challenges. And I think that there will be way more opportunities that we're not even aware of right now, especially with AI technology and everything that is developing so fast and coming up. This is just the beginning of a new and bright industry, in my opinion.
I would actually say something about the size just to paint a picture. So in our podcasts we speak to a lot of industry executives, and one technology provider we spoke to in the past, he shared that his company processed over the lifetime, so the past 3 years, about $3 billion worth of I think, was it 3 billion?
I'm not sure who you're referring
Justin.
to. I can't remember the exact
I can't
number.
remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, it sounds like a big number. Oh, we can edit this out actually. Can we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I misremembered the number and I don't want to say something wrong.
Okay.
Okay, sorry,
Okay.
sorry, editor.
So let's make like
So we can just finish from what Anna said, and I'll pass it to you to moderate. And
Yeah, no, thank you. Something that I would say that I expect from the industry in these couple of years, it will be building that trust value, that we continue doing the right thing with the right principles and values as well, and being there for the community, like continue bringing real opportunities for real traders. And from my point of view, you know, I'm from Puerto Rico, and I'm very proud to be from here, and also make me feel very proud that I'm working with a company that is providing real opportunities for Puerto Rican people. And I don't want to just focus on Puerto Rico because we are already like in 16 countries as well, and I understand that you're also like in different countries, but specifically from my point of view, I believe that there are a lot of people looking for this type of opportunity in the island, and we are providing that as well, and looking forward also to see, you know, some Puerto Rican people as well into Pipfarm, and that is something that I want to see, you know, like it's happening right now, that we have already traders that are making that payouts, getting that opportunity with us, and I would love to see the industry grow in a good way, where we can continue, you know, putting the right trust into the people, and we can continue to grow.
yeah, the biggest opportunity of this industry is prop firms. The biggest risk of this industry is prop firms.
Yeah, we need each other.
Yeah.
Like traders need
Mhm.
prop firms need traders.
Yeah.
So we have to collaborate to make this industry a good one for all of us.
The phrase is vote with your wallet or vote with your feet, right? And this is what traders need to do as well. They need to only work with good companies, because otherwise they're financing the bad companies. So vote with your wallets or vote with your feet.
Perfect. Well, it looks like it's time to end this amazing episode.
Amazing, yes.
We went from prop space to quantum physics to healing, medicine, and going back to prop space. But this is life.
Yeah.
This is how life goes. And if you have been since the beginning until here, thank you for taking your time to hear these four crazy people talking. So please let us know in the comments what was your favorite part, what you like most. If you learned anything from this episode, please let us know, because like we always say, that is gasoline for us to continue to providing these opportunities to bring important people in the industry like Anna and James. And hey, maybe this is the beginning of new collaborations with other platforms that are going to come to here to Puerto Rico and have these type of conversations. So thanks again for being here. We will give you the links of Pipfarm in the description. So if you haven't seen them, you can take a look at their webpage and everything, and follow them, and let's continue doing things great in the prop space.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much for inviting us. It's been a real honor to not just be here, but in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, thank you so much for the invitation, and it's been really a pleasure to share this conversation and to share all the experiences that we shared together.
I want to share thank you also. Like, thank you for
Grateful.
taking the time to come to Puerto Rico to connect with the community and have this conversation. So looking forward to continue creating more experiences, and that will be all.
We love it.
Zumba.
I love it here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's go.